quick one before we start. If you're sick of living off servo pies and guessing your way through meals on the run, this is going to help. It's Power B from Nature B. It is a full meal replacement shake. We live on it and we thrive on it. It's not a snack, it's actually a meal. And it's got grass-fed whey protein, probiotics for gut health, and it's the only shake in Australia with Nature B's Power Pollen built in. 2 shakes a day. It is that simple. If it doesn't work for you, Nature B gives you your money back, no questions asked. The intro pack's $39.95. There are links in the description. And like anything, it works best alongside regular exercise and a balanced diet. Now, let's get into the episode.
So come on down to the man cave, where the good times roll and the tall tales play. Raise a laugh with animals.
Tiger got hit by a car and killed. And they brought in another dog that from a shelter that looked just like Tiger, but it didn't work. And yeah,
Such useless information, Luke.
I know, I'm full of shit.
It will help at a trivia night.
Nikki goes to a trivia night every Thursday down at the Pittwater RSL. And there's a prize, not for coming last, it's second last, because people will throw it to come last.
Yeah. Anyway, come on.
So she's very proud. They get a bottle of wine and a voucher or something for coming second last, but there's no prize for last.
Good.
I know, this is actually content, isn't it? So welcome to the Man Cave here on the Bonafide podcast. We have a cast of thousands. We have in your right speaker. Are people listening to this in stereo, Kelsey, or is it all mono? Okay, in the right speaker.
There's no such thing as mono anymore.
It's stereo.
When I listen to my music in the Man Cave, it's a sound bar and a subby, so it's mono.
Oh, wow.
But anyway,
Come on. You're already diverging.
I'm going bing bong. Adam McDonald, welcome back, Vice Captain. How are you, brother?
Yeah, good to be on board. It's a full cave tonight, so good to be here.
It is a full cave. We have producer Thomas, the Tank Engine Denham, who's with us again, one of the producers of the podcast. Hello to you, Tomboy.
Very good to be here, as always.
Yeah, well, we hope you contribute today. And we have Scotty Phillips from the Motley Fool also with us today. And can you believe it? There's 5 of us. The Millenial is in the house.
Wow.
So welcome to all of you. We want to talk about something boring, but something that affects all of us shortly, Scotty, and that is the Reserve Bank putting up interest rates again yesterday. Who it affects, who doesn't it affect. We'll do that in a second. Vice Captain Adam McDonald, expert in memorabilia, star of the TV show Aussie Pickers, which you can still get in discount bins at Blockbuster.
Yep.
There's no Blockbusters anymore.
I found the double CD in JB Hi-Fi in the budget bin.
How much was it?
I think it was $9.95 or something like that. It was
You
pretty
should have
cheap.
bought 3 of them and given yourself a royalty.
I wish I got royalties.
Anyway, good to be with you. First of all, Vice Captain, what did you sell this week? What are you looking for?
What I'm looking for, I've got a huge collection of vintage Lego coming in. Now, Lego, it's cross-generational, but this collection that I've seen is like from probably the late 80s, all brand new in box, never opened. So if there's a Lego fan out there, have a look at Eva in the next couple of weeks, ehva.com.au. We'll have it listed, but it's a wonderful collection of Lego, all brand new, all in the box, and vintage stuff. Discontinued lines, the lot. Great stuff.
So vintage Lego's worth obviously a fair bit, and the rest of us can jump in here. Lego was actually founded, can you believe it, in 1932.
Yeah.
That's how far back Lego goes, by Ole Kirk Christensen. It was invented in Denmark. Can you believe that? So,
well, yeah, it's like very IKEA-esque, isn't it?
It is. It's like the early
that's
flatback.
Swedish.
I know, but same.
It's Nordic.
Yeah, the same.
Yeah, just don't tell that to Donald Trump because he'll annex the whole of Denmark now.
Yeah.
Plus Iceland and Greenland, Tasmania.
The collectability of this early Lego is massive. We did a sale last year. I think it was the beginning of last year, and there was one box. It was all it was a train engine, and that was it. And it was made in Mexico. and it got $800, and it was just like it was one piece, a tiny little box, $800. So these discontinued lines and rare lines of Lego are worth. There is a huge market for it.
Yeah. For everyone that's ever trod on a piece of Lego at 2:00 in the morning in bare feet on the way to the toilet, you'll know how impressive Lego is today.
It's dirty.
Question for you, Adam. Was there a stage in the history of Lego? There's obviously been several, and I'm sure you could provide examples, but was there a stage where there was a particular range or IP that made Lego boom the way it has?
No, I think it's been a slow burn because it's cross-generational, like the early the 70s and 80s stuff were like Cowboys and Indians and Cops and Robbers and stuff like that. But now moving forward, Wonder Boy got a Star Wars Lego for Christmas. That's like, it's almost 1.5 meters long. Like, it's massive. And the Lego these days are so detailed and so precise of what they're making. It's cross-generational. So I think it's just been a slow burn and just a constant favourite with both. And the other thing, it's both boys and girls, men and women. It's not just like Tonka trucks or Barbie dolls. I think that's why Lego's so popular, because it is cross-generational and for both boys and girls.
But it's literally on another planet now, isn't it? Because, I mean, you look at, for example, the Star Wars Lego models are unbelievable. Scotty Phillips, you make people money for a living. People invest with Motley Fool and you turn their money into more money. Would you invest in Lego? Would you invest in rare toys like that?
Not directly, Matt, but I wouldn't advise them not to. And it kind of comes down to my level of expertise, honestly, Matt. So everything can make money if you buy it cheap enough and there's enough demand in future for it. And that sounds obvious, but also pretty motherhood, and it's true. Adam would know better than me what the value of some of those collectibles are. It's not my expertise, right? So I wouldn't say don't do it. What I would say is separate the emotion from the rational investment case. So if you love Lego, great. That doesn't mean it's going to be collectible. Doesn't mean it's not going to be collectible. Just don't do it because you love it. I mean, if you like it, do it for yourself, knock yourself out. If you're trying to make money, you'd need to kind of put that investment lens on it, which is things Adam's talked about. Discontinued stock, high demand stuff. They're not making any more of it. I mean, that's one of the great things about some of these collectibles. And again, it's not my area of expertise, but if you can find something, old cars, right? They go through the roof at some point. So I find it hard to forecast the future value of some of that stuff. So I'm just like, I don't know. And in investing, the other thing is it's okay to say I don't know. People like me get paid to sound smart on TV and radio and on your podcast and pretend we know the answer to all these things. Only the honest ones will say, I don't know when they don't know. I'm not trying to big myself up. It's just the reality, right? So I am absolutely sure collecting the right things over the right period of time can give you a really, really nice return.
Yeah, but you just said something really interesting. And Thomas, I think we all have an opinion on this. If you go to a second-hand store, for example, and you see something that you can picture in your house or something that you've been looking for at memorabilia, old sporting goods that bring back memories from your childhood, it's easy to lead with your heart because your head will convince you that that thing that you want for you is going to be worth something when maybe it's not.
Absolutely. Like, I was literally in a op shop the other day just kind of looking through what books they have, because I'm a purveyor of ephemera and love that kind of stuff. It's going to have a more emotional value for me because it's stuff that I grew up with. It has that memory kind of core attachment, but for someone else it's going to be worth nothing.
Yeah, so we've heard it here first. Thomas is a ephemerant purveyor. So there we are.
When you're in this game, like if I find something that I know that's going to hold their money, like a pop head or a Pokemon card, what these companies do, they make limited runs. So therefore it becomes an instant collectible. That therefore they're not knocking out thousands and thousands of them. They'll knock out 100. That makes it collectible. That makes it worthwhile. That makes it valuable. I hate those sort of collectibles, but if I think I can make money on it, I'm in. Like, I'm not just going to walk away. I don't do Pokemon cards. It's cash money. So you've got to keep your eyes open, but you've got to try and keep your heart closed, because once you start buying stuff with your heart instead of your head, that's when you're not going to be earning any money.
You're in trouble. I remember talking to a bloke who was in the used car business for many, many years, and I said, have you ever bought a car to sell on your yard and gone, I can't get rid of this, I like it too much? He said, nah, I'm here to make money.
Well, I think that's the decision I made when I came down to Canberra, because when I was living in Sydney, I had that big house with a big garage, and I was just dragging shit back there willy-nilly just to keep it. But now I'm in a top floor apartment I don't have anything. I'm literally here to collect cash.
Yeah, you are a hoarder, a potential hoarder.
I was. Yes.
Dangerous.
I just wanted to move on to something that's on the front of our minds today. The Reserve Bank lifted interest rates by 0.25 percentage points.
Boo.
The new cash rate's 3.85%, up from 3.6%. And Scotty Phillips is our expert in this area. Scotty, looking through the papers this morning, every newspaper is blaming Jim Chalmers, the Treasurer, saying, and I noticed Pauline Hanson yesterday said that the reason we have the interest rate hike is because of the government's spending, and that's caused inflation. Is that a fair comment? What causes inflation, and why, when inflation is kind of getting out of control, do we have to put interest rates up? It's to stop people spending. But these figures come from the financial figures from late last year. And let's have a look at late last year. We are all encouraged to spend on Black Friday sales. And the next thing around the corner is Christmas, where we're all encouraged to spend. So, Scotty, can you please shed some sensible light on the Reserve Bank's decision and why it's happened?
There's a lot there, Luke, and I think if you really break down what's actually happened, the government's got a lot of blame, but not for the reason most people are saying. There's inflation around the world, so let's not pretend it's an Australian-only issue. And the outbreak of inflation and the persistence of inflation is also a global issue. And it goes back, frankly, to the previous government. And so let's not try and make this about Liberal, Labor, or this government or that government. And even for the RBA, who basically said on Tuesday, hey, private demand is stronger, in other words, money we're spending, is stronger than they thought it would be, and that's why inflation is higher than they thought it would be, and that's why they're making a decision now rather than before to raise rates. So that's the fact, right? So let's separate that bit. Where the government is absolutely, totally and completely responsible, and I will say almost to the point of culpability, is not taking sufficient action at the time to make a difference. To actually say, you know what, we see there's inflation. Whatever the cause, we need to put our oar in the water and try and make a difference, try and make it happen, try and fix the problem. And what they haven't done is done the right thing and said, we will cut spending. We will increase taxes, whatever version of that combination you like. The government is spending deficit spending. They're taking $9 out of the economy, putting $10 back in because they're taking taxes and they're using spending. So that's stimulating the economy. It's increasing demand. At the same time as the Reserve's trying to suck money out desperately, the Reserve's pulled the plug out of the bath and the government's just turned the tap on. And so you've got this policy working both ways, and it's madness, absolute madness. The RBA knows inflation is too high. The government knows inflation is too high. Only one of them is actually doing something about it, and that's the RBA. The government says we're doing everything we can to help. And I've said to you, and I've said to plenty of other people for 18 months, Jim Chalmers keeps saying we're working with the RBA to deal with inflation. And my single question, never, ever, ever, ever had an answer from anybody, is what is the government specifically doing to reduce inflation? Now, the politics is cost of living. So they say, we're providing cost of living support, cost of living relief. What does that mean? It means they're throwing us money to wallpaper over the problem. And some people need that money. So I'm not even saying it's wrong necessarily to help people who desperately need it right now because they are just sinking. But the cause of inflation is excess spending, not enough supply, price goes up, supply doesn't move, that's what you expect. The government needs to then say, this is a really serious problem. The RBA is doing its bit, we're going to do our bit as well. That's just not. And that's incredibly. If you're listening with a mortgage right now, you really should be pissed off, frankly, because the government's saying they're doing these things. It's not about Liberal Labor, I don't care. But they're saying they're trying to help. They're doing nothing to help. And the Reserve Bank's saying, well, I guess I've got to put rates up then. They are the goalkeeper at the end of the field. The government's off doing lunches.
Scotty,
Yeah,
a
mate.
comment that I keep seeing like over and over again is, I know why, it's just we live in a capitalistic society,
Yeah.
Why is raising interest rates the only way we can curb inflation?
Yep.
I know the answer, but I've
Do
seen
you?
this question. Well, it's capitalism at its finest. I mean, supply and demand, right? Like that's just the way that the world works.
Yes.
But I've seen that comment over and over again. So just quickly, explain why. I mean, first of all, is that true? And second of all, why?
So I love this how you say just quickly, mate. I'll try and keep it quick.
Because Kelsey, by the way, Kelsey and Nathan have a mortgage.
Yes.
Yeah.
How much extra a month have you worked out is this going to cost you?
That's a question for Nathan.
Okay, all right. But Kelsey and Nathan, young couple about to get married, they have a mortgage and they're hurting.
And mate, that's why I'm frankly pissed off. $100 a month is the increase on the average Australian mortgage. $150 a month on $1 million mortgage. Kelsey, you can do her own maths on that basis. That's how much it's going to cost. Now, Kelsey, you asked the question. So, why is interest the only tool? It's absolutely not. And you know that, right? So for our listeners and viewers, it's absolutely not the only tool. It's the only tool being used. Okay, and that's why I'm so bloody annoyed is the government's got millions of tools. They could use the GST, they could use income tax, they could use superannuation contributions, vary those up and down. They could use infrastructure spending, they could use welfare spending, they could use a million. The government's got a million tools, and they can make them as fine or as blunt as they want to make them. I will make Scott pay tax, but Luke doesn't have to. I'll make Luke and Tom pay tax, but Adam doesn't have to. I can spend more money on Luke, I can spend less money on Tom, I can spend more money on Kelsey. I can do whatever. I'm government, right? And they're doing literally nothing. That's why it's so bloody frustrating. So why is it the only tool? Because the RBA is the only adult in the room. The rest of them, Liberal and Labor, both too busy playing politics. They're not going to, Liberals not going to do anything different either because they want to try and buy votes, right? They're not going to be honest and responsible and do what actually needs to be done. They're going to say, oh, don't look at me. Look over there at Michelle Bullock. She's the bad lady who's making your mortgage more expensive. And we all go, oh, okay, that sucks, but okay, I guess that's what has to happen. And it's absolutely not, mate. So everyone listening and watching, it's absolutely not necessary for the RBA to move rates if the government did more. And very quickly to answer your question with numbers, Chris Richardson, great economist, really good bloke, by the way, did some numbers. A 0.25% rate hike, the one we had on Tuesday. That's the equivalent of taking $10 billion of spending out of the economy. In other words, if the government cut spending by $10 billion, they'd still be running a deficit budget, by the way, still stimulating, but that would have effectively negated the need for a rate hike on Tuesday. So that is the very, very clear basic numbers. Government refuses to, so the RBA has to. And Kelsey, you're getting whacked, and it is a disgrace because people out there who don't have a mortgage aren't paying a cent. People with money in the bank, they're getting more, right? The average retiree, and I'm not bagging the retirees, they're going to get more money. Come next month, they're like, I got more interest. I guess I'll go and spend more money then. And so we're trying to take money out of the economy or we put it back in somewhere else.
But if the banks do follow through very quickly and raise their interest rates on loans, surely they are obligated then to also pass on that interest rate hike to people with savings.
And they will. And they will. So bank
margins... The Macquarie Bank did this morning.
Yeah, bank margins over the last 10 years have actually declined. So we all hate the banks and with decent justification for a million different reasons. One thing we do know about the banks, I'm not a bank shareholder, I'm not going to defend them. One thing we know about the banks is their margins have decreased over the last decade. So they're not profiteering. The money's going to the depositors, it's going to the wholesale money markets, going somewhere else. But yeah, Kelsey's dead right. There is no need for this to be the case. Kelsey, you mentioned supply and demand too, very quickly. Over time, supply and demand even out, right? When the price goes up, we either buy less of it or suppliers produce more of it. And so prices find their level. And that's one of the great things about capitalism. Like we see it as a horrible thing, and it can be at the extremes where it's really messy and ugly and whatever.
Well, it relies on poor people to stay poor, essentially.
Oh man,
that's the evil part about capitalism.
Yeah, totally, that's a whole other question. We can talk about that. I'm very happy to, by the way, but I don't want to derail the whole conversation. But on rates specifically, or inflation specifically, prices will find their own level. If bananas go up, you buy apples instead. The price of bananas will come down eventually because the banana growers want to entice you to buy. Or someone else will plant banana trees. More bananas, the price comes down because there's more supply. Over time, that works. In the short term,
but we also have bad actors, though. We also have people like artificially inflating house price, especially in America.
Yeah, absolutely.
Artificially inflating bloody, stock prices, and then people buy and then sell or whatever.
100%.
Anyway.
So no. And I don't want to, I'm not saying, so there's some really crappy parts of capitalism, and then frankly there's some really distorted parts that aren't proper capitalism. They're just kind of bastardizations, and I'd love to have, let's have that chat at some point. So you're absolutely right, Kelsey. I'm not trying to
We should have the great capitalism debate.
Yeah, we should.
No, not today.
Not today. Not today. Not today.
That's the answer on rates. That's the answer on rates.
Because today the share price of Lego has gone through the roof, and we have done that artificially here on our own.
Well, I'll tell you what, that sort of inflation happens a lot in the art world. So if you're an up-and-coming artist, you put an artwork up for auction, you buy it back for $200. You put another one up, you buy it back for $400. You put another one up, you buy it back for $1,000. All of a sudden, you're a registered artist that's worth $1,000 at auction. All this self-inflation happens, but I'll tell you what happens in the art world, and I saw it happen to, I won't mention the artist's name, but I went to high school with them.
Ooh,
And they were a sculptor that
scandalous.
made beautiful big bronze sculptures, and an auction house did it to them, and they just bought back and sold these massive big bronzes. The market got so inflated, it burst, and now she's not worth anything. So when you do that sort of stuff, you've really it's like a balloon. You can only blow it up so much before it's going to burst, and you're going to level out again.
All righty, interesting stuff. Please leave us your comments and thoughts. You've got a question, leave a voice message 0291289311, and we'll pass on your messages. lukebonaradioguy@gmail.com. Just while we're on the cost of living, and it's an interesting story that is out at the moment, and that is the high price of sending our kids to school. And I've got a question, and I'd love you all to jump in on this. Is private school worth it? And a public school, which is taxpayer funded, a story came out yesterday that it costs the average family between $5,000 and $10,000 to send your kids to a free school, when you take into account excursions, private tutoring, and the list goes on. Now, private schools, some of them charge $40,000 a year, some $50,000, some $60,000. And yet I did some research, and the academic pros and cons don't add up. We don't see kids getting top scores in the HSC that come from exclusively private schools. The public school system's doing really, really well at NAPLAN, and doing very well when it comes to the HSC. So is private school worth it? I guess it is if you go to school with someone from a very influential family, and that old school tie sort of...
That's the words.
I mean, if you went to school and were mates with James Packer at school, chances are you've got a pretty good contact in life. So, so Kelsey's got her hand up first. Is private school worth it?
I've got a couple points here. It depends on the child, first of all. If your kid needs extra resources and that extra time and attention, then sure, absolutely. But it is known that kids that go to university that come from private schools have a harder time at university because they're used to having a silver spoon in their mouth. They're used to somebody feeding them the information, coaxing them through the answers, where kids that go to public school, get to year 11 and 12 and the teachers are really good. I mean, at my school, they were really good, but you do a lot of that stuff yourself. You succeed by yourself. So there's pros and cons, but I wouldn't send my kids to private school unless I had a kid that really needed the extra attention.
Who wants to go next? Is private school worth it?
I will. I think, like Kelly said, it depends on the kid, and it depends on what sort of vocation you want to move into. So if you want to move into the business world and the high end banking world, you need that old school tie. Like, if you're going for a job, if I'm going for a job, and then Robert Smith's going for a job, and Robert Smith went to King's, and I went to Crowe Boys High, they're going to get the job because he's a King's school, and the executives from the King's school, he's got the old school tie. So I think it's got to massively where you want to move into, because that private school old school tie, it's a thing. Like, it's a huge thing.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting, though? And Thomas or Scotty, one of you can jump in with this. One thing I've noticed over many years of being in this broadcast caper is that when somebody does something wrong and makes the papers, or has their face on the news at night because they've done a DUI, they've assaulted somebody, they've sexually assaulted somebody, it doesn't matter. If that person, the accused, is at school and goes to a private school, they always say, John Smith, private school student John Smith. They never say public school student Tom Denham. They don't even mention that, but they always put before the child's name the fact that he or she went to private school if they've done something wrong. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So they should.
Yeah. It's very easy to create a smear campaign for a private school if you wanted to do anything of the caliber that you just discussed. I used to be a teaching assistant and worked across a number of public schools, private schools, primary, secondary schools, and the private schools I worked at, and I don't think it's by any ill intention of anyone involved, but it's amazing how kids particularly that feel a little bit on the outer, feel a little bit ostracized, not by anyone's decision, but just by the culture that's set in those schools. So I think that's where specialist schools and some public schools are a little bit better, I reckon.
Yeah, but you always seem to be, they always say private school student John Smith sexually assaulted somebody, or
is it because the public school, they think, well, of course he did it because he's from a public school, so it's a bit of an outrage if the privately educated kid does it,
or is it putting in the mind of the viewer or the listener, oh, they should have known better, they should have been raised better because they went to a private school? Scotty Phillips, do you get your money's worth at a private school?
I hope so. My kid goes to a private school down in Barrel. So I'm wasting my money if I'm not. Mate, I reckon, look, we've all said it's horses for course, and I think that's absolutely true. We sent our kid to a private school because we figured that maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, and if we had the means, then giving him a chance is probably worthwhile. I say that at the same time as I think public schools are horribly underfunded, right? And so I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth very, very consciously here. The resourcing for private schools is much better than public schools. And that is frankly a national issue, policy issue that we should address. Because I'm going, well, I know that school over there's got that, and that school over there's got that, and I want my kid to have an opportunity to do that stuff, so I'm going to send him there. That's kind of what we did. That's a real world example of what we decided to do. We had the ability to send him to a private school. If we had two kids, we probably couldn't have afforded it, but one kid was fine. And it's a little private school in Barrel. It's not a bloody King school or anything else. And it was just literally a case of, well, we don't know, but is there a chance you're going to get a better opportunity at the private school with the extra resources? Probably. So we'll do that. And that's really selfish, but also kind of as a parent, I don't think it's unreasonable. I don't think anyone who has the opportunity to give their kids a start would say, no, I don't want to. I'll make sure he's level pegging with everybody else. So it's unreasonable and unfair at a societal level. I'm a massive fan of the Gonski reforms. We should absolutely be funding public schools a whole lot better. Here's the other thing, by the way, more than half of, I think it's New South Wales, it might even be national now, kids go to private schools. So we've kind of crossed that Rubicon, right, where the majority are now private educated, at least at high school. And that changes how we think about schools, how we think about school funding. So I really do worry about the public system in terms of, when everyone goes there,
stop giving all the
everyone's got an
money to
interest in it.
private schools. It always baffled me how there's so much money poured into
I agree.
private schools
I
because
100%
parents
agree.
can fund them.
Yep.
And good on you, if you can afford a bloody basketball stadium, whatever it is,
Yep.
fantastic, good on you. But then why some private schools get more funding than public schools?
I agree.
And it baffles me.
No, I agree. That's
It
what
makes
I'm
me
saying.
so angry.
I'm talking about both sides of my mouth, mate. I'm absolutely happy to send my kid there because I think he's going to get a good chance at a good start. There's no old school, it's high. It's not that older school and, whatever. It was just a little local private school here. We thought, well, we could, so we wanted to. But you're a million percent right. It should not be at the expense of public schools. That we don't, it's unconscionable. The money we throw at some of the really expensive private schools, and we don't support public schools enough. They have a gap on their funding based on what they actually need. By the way, private schools also do better because they can choose their students. So you look at the results you mentioned, Luke, before. That's part of the issue is you get to choose who goes there. Do you want the kid with extra needs? Well, no, so let's get rid of that kid. What about the stupid kid? No, we don't want him either. Let's get rid of him. And I'm being deliberately provocative here, but the reality is they are managing their cohort in a lot of cases, not all, in a lot of cases, to make sure they look good on NAPLAN. Why? Because you recruit the best kids. You give out sports scholarships, you give out academic scholarships, you're tilting the scales in terms of what the school looks like, not even how much value you're adding. Just, if I get the brightest kids in year 7, I'll probably get the brightest kids in year 12. Wow, how amazing is School X? They've done a wonderful job. Have they? Or have they just got the kids that do better, and so it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy?
By the way, I hope your child's private school in Barrel is a little bit better than the one I went to in Barrel.
Yes, we're aware.
Talk about that after.
Yeah. I hope he turns out a lot better, Scotty Phillips. I hope you are good. There is also a perception that the quality of teaching is better because the teachers are more accountable, that they're harder to sack, and that they're under scrutiny. And if their students don't perform, they can be sacked. There is that perception. I don't know if it's true or not.
Did you hear about that teacher that was at a private Catholic school, and whilst he was teaching, he divorced his wife and, was seeing somebody else, and he lost his job because you can't be divorced in the Catholic Church. So he lost his job and he took it to court because he was living with somebody that he wasn't married to. And it's in the courts as we speak.
Really?
Yeah, literally.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they're out of control. I will say, I have a little bit of experience with the education sector through a relative, and You're right. It's absolutely easier to hire, fire, promote in private schools. And we talk education policy later, but the limitations on public school principals, who they can choose, who they can hire, who gets to come to their school. The large departments, if you're a teachers union member, you're probably saying, well, I deserve it, I want it. The public school principals are massively hamstrung in terms of what they can do on staffing, and that's a massive issue for them. And it's a massive issue for the system. I don't have all the answers, but until you give principals a bit more autonomy and they can actually take action against underperforming teachers, you're going to have ongoing challenges in the system, unfortunately.
The Man Cave on the Bonafide podcast coming up very soon, a segment that I've invented. It's called Let's Muddle the Millennial. Kelsey, you are going to be in
And Thomas, that's why I invited Thomas here, because
Oh, yeah.
he's on my side.
You know, I didn't say anything about having teams.
Oh, well.
This is new. I didn't know that.
Well,
That's-
you can conspire behind the scenes, so can I.
No.
Well, you can probably have 2 teams of 2, and because I sort of sit in the middle of this,
True.
'cause I'm right in the
Kelsey,
middle.
I'm no
So
help to you.
I can be a referee.
Okay, let's muddle the millennial coming up in just a second. Just something else that I saw in the news, and I wanted to get your opinions on this. Is this un-Australian? We're talking about the cost of living. There's a story about a Brisbane local who went online and took aim at the price of pizza at a local takeaway joint. Sunnyside Sliced, a cult Melbourne pizza joint known for its premium pricing,
Oh, yeah.
has opened in Newstead. Pizzas, guys, range from $52 to $80, and slices, just a slice
What are
of
they
pizza.
putting on it?
Just a slice of pizza starts at $7. Guys, is that too much to pay for a pizza? What are your thoughts?
Depends what's on it. Like,
Yeah, what is on it? Can you...
Abalone,
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Tasmanian
King crab. Yeah.
anyone who puts abalone on a pizza deserves to lose their money, because
Isn't abalone the most overrated piece of shit in the world? It tastes like
Never had
rubber,
it.
and it's $100 a kilo.
Never had it.
It's a mollusk, and it is just the worst thing. But anyway,
Are they
keep
putting
going.
truffles on there as well?
Surely. They got to have gold flakes or something. Who wants to eat this? Who has the money to spend $70 on a pizza? Not me, I can tell you that much.
not me.
Okay. They've got the Sunnyside cheese, the upside down cheese, pepperoni classic, hella honey. What?
How much? Hang on. Go back. How much is the pepperoni classic?
For a slice?
Yes.
$7.52.
Kill me now.
wee.
Red truffle is $8.58 a slice.
Oh,
New Mexico, $9.20.
this better be the biggest slice of pizza I've ever seen in my life.
They've got
It's
white
sliced
truffle.
the size of my head.
They've got a white truffle. This is a slice, $10.80 a slice.
That is insane.
Well, I guess you don't go there then.
But people are going there because they want the Instagram and the TikTok videos of look at this fancy pizza. I reckon they should be taxed more for raising inflation.
There probably should be an Instagram tax in general, just quietly. That'd sort some people out.
Absolutely.
Do you
influence the
remember
tax.
the old Pizza Hut days? The all-you-can-eat?
Oh,
yeah.
so
With the
good. The,
salad bar.
pizza bar. Oh,
And
so
the soft serve
good.
machine.
Oh, so good.
Oh, how good was that?
But I feel like a lot of people got sick at those places.
Well, I remember when the Pizza Hut first opened on the northern beaches. It was at the Ringa Mall, right? And it was a restaurant, and they had red and white checked tablecloths, a candle in a black metal holder, and there was no all you can eat. You ordered your pizza and you had it at the table.
That's right.
Do you remember that?
They brought in the big metal dishes too and put it down in front of you, the thin and crispy or the pan pizza. Yeah, absolutely.
Well
Sounds
done.
taking me back.
And then there was, of course, Sizzler, famous for its cheese bread. What was
bread.
that? I never had it.
Do you remember the jingle? 9481111. Pizza Hut delivery.
How does it go?
9481111. Pizza Hut delivery.
Well, there's
Kelsey, it started without
they
the
did
9.
the 401. That's right.
Just 48111, and then they had to introduce the 9 because we're running out of numbers.
Or the Domino's
Had
one.
to
I've got
add
the
an
hots
extra
for the
nine.
what's in the box with the dots. Domino's, as you might remember.
Very good. And KFC, and Hugo said you go, and I said no, you go. And soon he was back with the pack, and we sat in the back, and then Dad hit the track,
Wow,
and we
you
sat
are
in the
old,
back,
aren't you?
feeling better inside.
Hey.
A drive
Okay,
isn't
that's enough.
funny without empty tummy.
Luke,
Thank
Luke.
goodness for Kentucky Fried.
Well done, well done.
Gee whiz, I don't know that
Just a
one.
very quick story. I live in a part of Sydney that has You won't believe there's 3 pizza shops on the one road, all in very close proximity of each other. And I always go to the one. I know it's not the best one, but I go because the customer service is fantastic.
That's cool.
And they remember my
How
name.
much a slice? How much for an individual slice?
They don't do by the slice, but for a pizza,
that's right.
For a pizza, $25.
You
Yeah,
don't
that's
buy
more
pizza
like
by the slice. You don't put pineapple on pizza.
You do.
Yes,
you don't
you
put
do.
onion.
You do so.
No, you don't.
No pineapple. I'm with you, Vice Captain.
Oh, boo.
No pineapple.
This is one thing Luke and I will agree on.
Come on.
It's not
When the pub
Italian.
up the road, the Terry Hills Tavern, did its big renovations. This is years ago, and they opened a wood
Pizza
fire
bar,
pizza
yeah.
bar, and they refused to put pineapple on any of their pizzas, and the pizzas were quite good, but they didn't. So Kelsey, tell them what I used to do.
Bring a can of pineapple.
I used to bring my own little can of Golden Circle. I used to put it in Nikki's handbag, and I had the small.
Very embarrassing, but
It's like
justified.
taking sardines with you.
Don't give him any ideas because he would do that.
They shouldn't put anchovies on the pizza.
No.
Yeah.
No
Guys,
anchovies, no
what's the
pineapple.
dumbest thing you've done out on the drink? By the way, always drink responsibly. I cannot believe this story about a man who got into a drama with a barmaid at a bar in Melbourne. He apparently yelled at the barmaid, "Open the effing beer." Anyway, he's been ejected.
Of course.
And he's gone outside to throw a chair at the bouncer. But,
Oh, yes, I saw this.
but the chair's gone nowhere near the bouncer and it's hit his best mate and
the
knocked him
head.
out.
They brained him. You see him fall down. I mean, I hope the bloke's okay, but he absolutely brained him. That guy just hit the ground
Oh,
like
yeah.
a sack of spuds.
Did you see the reaction of the bouncer?
He was laughing. Yeah, he was
He was
cacking.
absolutely laughing his head off.
What an idiot.
It's just a
What
show for them
an
every night.
absolute
What do you
idiot.
say? What do you say to your mate the next day?
I know. Well, one of the dumbest things I've done on the drink is
Always drink responsibly.
Yeah, always drink responsibly. And this was the day before I met Nathan's parents for the first time. Me and my friends thought it'd be a great idea to just go wander around the streets while we were all a bit pissed. And I saw a parked boat, and I got up on the boat and pretended I was Jack Sparrow, and then fell off the boat onto concrete, and then had a massive gash on my head, and then had to go. I don't know what
That explains you a bit now.
I don't know what I told Nathan's parents about why I had a massive gash on my head, but
I like how you're trying to be Jack Sparrow.
Can any of you top that?
I used to go to art school, and I went to a very hoity-toity bar in Carlton in Melbourne, and I convinced someone I was an associate professor of modern art, trying to give this bullshit story, and then I left the bar and threw up in the alleyway.
oh god.
That's a great story.
I think it was my 45th. The Mexican wrestling came to town. The Mexican wrestlers. So me and a mate and our partners dressed up as Mexican wrestlers. So I had a pair of tights on, a pair of my partner's short shorts, and her one-piece swimsuit. I had my face paint, and I had a cape.
Oh my
So we
God.
rock up to this Mexican. I'll send you photos. It's quite
Please
a photo.
send the photos.
We want the photo. Go
We'll put it on the subscriber page, Adam, so then it's not out in the public.
We get to the wrestling, and the line's like, it's a half an hour wait to get in. So we just walk straight up the front. I said, "Man, I'm here to wrestle. Can we come straight in?" And they're just like, "Yes, come straight in."
my God.
So we waltz in, and then all night, I just go up to the bar and say, "Listen, I'm just about to get in the ring. Can I have 4 gin and tonics?"
Oh,
And they would just
my
serve me for free. All night it went on. It was absolutely wonderful. I'll send you the photo now.
That's got to be the most legendary thing.
No,
I was going
there's
to
a
say,
really
we're
good
supposed to be
story.
embarrassing stories. That's a great one.
Oh, I've got a million embarrassing stories. Let's just stick to the
What was
wrestling.
your alter ego, Adam, again? What was your alter ego's name?
Richie Mack.
Yeah, Richie Mack. That's Adam's alter ego when he's on the drink. There's a great story about a couple that were backpacking around the world, and they got to the United States where everything is really expensive. And he proposed to his girlfriend in this pub, in the bar. And everyone went, yay, because she said yes, and bought them drinks all night. And they thought, this is a rort. So everywhere they went around the United States, they would go into a bar and he would get down on his knee and propose.
Yeah, nice.
And they never had to buy a drink for the rest of their trip.
That's just smart. That's just good budgeting.
There you go. I just send the photo to you, Kels.
Fantastic. Let me look at this. Here we go. Oh
Give us a look.
my God.
Oh, jeez.
Show it in the camera. Show it in the camera here.
Oh dear.
Oh, there he is.
That's part The Incredibles, part Wonder Woman, part Robin. A bit of Batman and Robin going there, actually.
It was a mixture.
Yeah.
That is so good, Adam. That is the best.
Now, that looks like the fat guy from The Invincibles.
I see a bit of Dr. Robotnik there, Adam.
Right, drum roll, please.
Insert drum roll here, please, Kelsey. Okay, so the Minister for War and Finance and myself, both of us.
You've got like 18 pages there.
No, I'm only going to give you a couple. But we were talking about something, and I'll tell you what it was in a second. And we both looked at each other, and I said, there's no way Kelsey would know what we're talking about there. So it planted a seed, because you know I'm a thinker, Thomas, right? I'm an ideas man.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I thought this could be a segment on the Man Cave, but it can also, at the same time, help belittle Kelsey. So I've come up with an idea. It's a segment called Let's Muddle the Millennial.
Yes, yes.
And so I've come up with some typical things that we used to say in the 1970s. Now, I've sent this list to you guys, so hopefully you've had a look at it. Just so people don't think I am harassing you. Next week, you can turn the tables and we can call it Let's Bamboozle the Baby Boomer.
Yeah. Well, that'll be pretty easy. I'll just make
All
you
right.
set up the studio by yourself.
Kelsey, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
You must answer within 3 seconds
Oh, okay.
what you think the answer is. You can't just
Okay, so
you can't
rapid
pass.
fire.
You can't pass.
Okay.
Adam, can you keep score?
Yep.
Kelsey, Menzies, your time starts now. What were the yellow pages?
Telephone books.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It was specifically for business.
Oh, yeah, the same thing. Telephone books.
I
Yeah.
didn't think you'd get that.
Yeah, I'll give it.
I get it. She gets that. What was a Rolodex?
That is where you keep the cards of, names of people, like address books and stuff.
Wow.
I know. Look, I'm smart.
What was the Gregory's?
A mountain range.
What was the Gregory's? A mountain range, Adam? Kelsey, what was burning a CD?
Oh, that was when you copied it, essentially.
In the 70s, what was a pash?
A kiss.
Oh, God, you're killing it.
Luke, these are so easy.
What was 3 on the tree?
3 on the tree is when you would have 3, you would scull 3 beers.
Back in the day, cars had 3 pedals. What were those pedals?
Accelerator, brake, and the clutch.
In what, from left to right, which was which?
Oh, I don't know. Clutch, accelerator, brake. Clutch, brake, accelerator.
What does BMX stand for?
Well, it's a bike. Big machine, X-rated. I don't know.
What was a vanilla slice?
Oh, what do you mean? A vanilla slice is like a custard slice. Delicious. A snot rocket. A snot bar.
What was a popular glue that we used at school that you could also eat? And
Elmer's.
it was in a purple container.
Elmer's. Or was it the
That's
glue
it.
stick? The gluey.
Why couldn't Rob's face be shown on TV when he was advertising a product?
Rob who?
He was a dentist.
Because he had an ugly face.
Thomas, shut the
That's
He had an ugly face.
Oh, Thomas is your partner, I forgot.
Oh, yeah, Thomas.
Yeah, so we'll give that.
If you skipped school without permission, what were you doing?
Wagging.
All right. It's backfired. You've done very, very well.
Yeah, Luke.
You got 8. How many questions did you ask?
I don't know. I'll give you one more. This is your last one. Who was Norm and what was his what was he the face, what campaign was he the face of? Who was Norm and what campaign was he the face of?
Oh, I feel like I know Norm. Norm. He was Home and Away? I don't know.
Okay.
Norm. Was he the... No, he was the puppet thing. Wasn't he? Oh, no. Aardvark
Way
thing?
off.
I don't know.
All right. Adam, we'll leave it there. How did she go?
She did all right. She got 8 questions right. How many did you ask?
I don't know. The Gregory's, a mountain range.
Well, yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
The Gregory's was a book of maps. Now,
Nah. Well, it was kind of right. It was kind of right.
You were nowhere near. So you opened the Gregory's and instead of a GPS, you had to follow a map. Do you remember that, guys?
Yes.
In Victoria, we had Melways.
UBD in Sydney, for those who remember that one.
Yeah. And men were we had a Gregory's or a Sidway, but Gregory's was first. And girls would turn it round and drive like this. They would hold it at different angles as they were driving.
Yeah.
But you had to go, you looked up the name of the street.
Yeah.
Then you went to, it would tell you what page.
Yeah.
Then it would say A52.
Yeah, I know, Luke. I don't need the full diagram. I was alive when these were around. And Luke, next week you've got to beat 8, and I've got to say you've got no chance in hell. You're going to have to do some proper research.
You're in
You
trouble,
did
Skip.
very, very well. Okay, I thought
He's
that
going to
was...
spend the week on TikTok trying to brush up.
Yeah, exactly.
I am very, very impressed with Yellow Pages because that's long
I was
gone.
around when that was still a thing.
What about BMX?
Yeah, what is that? What does it
Bicycle
stand for?
motocross?
Exactly, Adam.
What did I don't know. I
Yeah,
said
it's bicycle
something.
motocross.
Bicycle motocross. And the Gregory's. Kelsey, outstanding.
Thank you.
Yep, good effort.
Rob was a dentist, so you couldn't show his face. The voiceover artist was Lawsy.
Oh.
This is Rob. We can't show you his face because he's a dentist. It was Oral B.
Oh, you should have done the smoking dude on the smoking packets.
And Norm?
Show us, Rob.
Norm was
And
from
Norm
Life.
was Life Be In It. Yeah, encouraging people in the 70s
Yes.
to get up off the couch and go and exercise.
never.
And the ads ended with Beauty Nuke because he's watching the tennis. John Newcomb.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, who was Nuke? I should have asked that one.
You should have, yeah. Oh, well.
Listen, guys, it's almost time to go. It's been interesting. We've solved a lot of the world's problems, hopefully created even more. Next week, Kelsey's going to bamboozle the baby boomer and I'm in trouble.
You are in so
Good
much
luck.
trouble.
Give me an example.
Massive issues.
What do young people use the word fire for?
If you're doing something good, you're on fire.
I know this one.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Maybe not all hope is lost.
Bamboozle the baby boomer. If you've got any suggestions for Kelsey, please let us know. lukebonaradioguy@gmail.com. And I am in big trouble. I'm very, very impressed, young girl.
Thank you.
Thomas, good to see you. Scotty Phillips, thank you for explaining inflation and interest rates. And Adam, thanks to you, the
Yes.
price of Lego is now sky high. We should have bought yesterday.
Remember, if you've got anything that you want to sell, you get me at adam@orbids.com.au. I'm also trying to put together a sports memorabilia sale. So anyone who's got sports memorabilia, anything at all, basketball, cricket, we're chasing a couple of Don Bradman bats. So get in contact with me at adam@orbids.com.au.
Scotty Phillips, the Motley Fool, who makes people money. Invest your money. Scotty will look after it. Motley Fool, how do we contact you?
Oh, mate, just jump on fool.com.au or look me up on all the socials, TMF Scott P is where you can find me on those. Looking forward to the capitalism discussion, Kelsey. Let's have an exciting
She
episode
can
on that
open
one.
it. She can
People
do
will
her
tune in
own.
their
The great
single
capitalism
numbers, I'm
debate.
sure.
You can open your own podcast with that one, and you can find it
There you go, let's do it.
on bore.com.au.
Yeah, some people will like it.
And if you want to contact Thomas, any public toilet after midnight or any Centrelink office.
That is so rude. That is so rude. Give it
at this
back to
point,
him,
Kelsey.
Tom.
Oh, one of your best.
No, it's entertaining.
See you later, guys. Thank you.
Raise a laugh with Adam on the line. Let it amble till the morning light.
So remember, if you want something easy that actually fits into a busy day, check out Power B from Nature B. Full meal replacement. Chocolate flavour, 2 shakes a day. The intro pack's only $39.95 and it comes with a 100% money-back guarantee, no questions asked. If you don't like it, the links are in the description. And like anything, it works best alongside regular exercise and a balanced diet.